vault withstands the blast. At the same time, Yuno frees Hinata, Mao, and Kosaka and goes to kill Kamado, but she is stopped by Akise. Not wanting to waste time, Yuno rushes after Yuki, who looks frustrated because he can't open the iron safe to kill the 11th hiding there. However, even though Akise says that Yuno is an imposter, she turns out to be able to open the door of the iron vault via a retina scan, which surprises John and Yuki. After successfully opening the safe, Yuno goes in and immediately kills John. After that incident, Yuki and Yuno are surprised by the appearance of dark vortexes all over the city due to Deus's lifespan. He tells Yuki that Akise prevented her from killing Kamado while preventing Yuki from distrusting his friend. After that, they head to Akise's place to kill Kamado, but they only find Akise trying to reveal the truth about Yuno to Yuki. Before Akise explains anything to Yuki, Yuno immediately attacks Akise and asks him to look for Kamado's whereabouts. Surprisingly, Akise can overthrow her and insists he will tell Yuki the truth about her. However, Yuno harms her own body, then calls Yuki and lies to him by saying that Akise tried to kill her and his classmates, who planned to betray him. Out of rage and fear, Yuki shoots Hinata, Mao, and Kosaka and still believes he can bring them back to life after becoming a god. Akise finally arrives and warns Yuki that Yuno plans on killing him at the very end to win the game. When Yuno arrives, Akise kisses Yuki, enthralling Yuno. Akise and Yuno commence fighting, and Akise manages to smash her cell phone. As Yuno kills Kamado, a dying Akise who knows the first diary he destroyed was real, he suddenly has an epiphany about Yuno. Since he can no longer talk, he writes a message on his cell phone and shows it to Yuki, allowing Yuno to finish him off as Deus begins to collapse. After Kamado's death, the only survivors of the future diary holders are Yuki and Yuno. Later, she reminds him about her diary's prediction that they will become one that day. As the days pass, Yuki eventually admits to himself that his friends are probably telling the truth as he reminisces the events that took place in the city. Since Yuki cannot understand why Yuno would lie to him about the possibility,
Detroit style is back at pizza.
of resurrecting people, he decides to get the truth from her by fulfilling her diary's prediction one day earlier. He does a fun thing to her in her house. He confronts her about why she would lie to him, and she responds by saying she just wanted to console him and asks him to kill her. Hearing that, Yuki refuses and instead suggests that they die together. However, when Yuki talks about the message by Akise, Yuno instead attacks him and openly says that she will kill him to win the game and become Deus' successor. Yuki tried to escape that place, but instead, he met Mormor, who immediately pushed him into a big hole in Yuno's house. Yuki, who gets a vision from Mormor, finally finds out about Yuno's true identity, who turns out to be the winner of the previous game and has become the god of time and space. Yuki has shown himself in Yuno, who were the last participants in the previous survival game, which for convenience will be referred to as the First World. In the First World, Yuki and Yuno agree to end their lives together rather than having to kill each other, but she fakes her death, thinking she could bring him back as a goddess. When she discovered she could not restore souls in real life, Yuno traveled back in time and killed her other self in this second world, taking her place. Distraught at this, Yuki breaks out of the visions and confronts the First World Yuno. As the Cathedral of Causality rises, Yuno expresses her disgust at how this state of affairs prevents her and Yuki from ever surviving together. She states that since Yuki will not kill him, she will kill him and travel back in time again to meet another him. At the same time, Mormor makes Yuki fall off his footing and is about to kill him. But then, Uryu suddenly appears there and instantly saves him. Not only revived by Deus, Uryu turns out to get a little of the god's power to help Yuki because Deus realizes that Mormor is on. By this time, Hibachi and the others had heard about the appearance of the giant mosquito, but when they arrived at the location, they found Jinbei and Nagato Mimaru had defeated the insect. To celebrate their success, Jinbei and the others took Nagato Mimaru back to their base to drink together. Moments later, they were all asleep from drunkenness, except for Nagato Mimaru. He lay in the middle of the room, vowing that he would return to Jinbei someday to share his knowledge of insects with him. On the other hand, when he was about to go home, he found that the archive room was not far from where he was now. So, he decided to enter the room, where he accidentally discovered a secret scroll while searching for documents regarding the history of the city patrol. The scroll turned out to contain a map of the land of the rising sun, in which parts of the map were crossed by black ink. While thinking about the cross's meaning, Matsu suddenly entered the room. He now remembers the true identity of Nagato Mimaru, who turns out to be Tokugawa Ieshige, the eldest son of the shogun. Seeing Nagato Mimaru clutching the mysterious map, Matsuo immediately cut the map with his sword before offering him a deal.
Buy a Hisense Google TV. $100 reward if you love it, 100 days to return it if you don't.
Matsu immediately cut the map with his sword before offering him a deal. He promised not to reveal Nagato Mimaru's true identity to anyone.